is Monday, December 9th, and you're watching Jenn Cast, the live daily webcast that happens Monday through Friday here on YFElive.com. I'm thrilled because today's topic is, of course, Members Only Monday, where we talk about young female entrepreneurs. But even more exciting, the topic is around collaboration. Young female entrepreneurs that are collaborating with one another. And if you're like me, seeing a good collaboration gets you really excited. So we're going to be doing some talking about some examples, one of which is HelloFlow's it's like Santa for your vagina. And it's so funny because I get really embarrassed talking about periods, about vaginas in general, anything like that. And so to talk about that on today's video is going to be interesting. Yeah. I grew up in a household where this kind of thing, you just didn't talk about it. If it was on TV, it was kind of like, you brushed it aside, whatever. So anyway, the collaboration is between Dear Kates and HelloFlow. And Dear Kates is founded by Julie Siegel. Oh gosh, I always forget how to pronounce her name. Siegel? Anyway, I love Julie. She's such a smart entrepreneur. She invented her own panty that is super absorbent, and it's just brilliant. Everything about it is brilliant. I love the brand. She recently rebranded. Well, not recently. It was about a year ago, and that's what we talked about on her YFE chat episode. And we also had Nama Bloom on, who's the founder of HelloFlow, not that long ago, who talked about viral videos and starting HelloFlow. And everything about Nama points to role model for young female entrepreneurs. First of all, she started this company. She talks about it on the video where she's going to Costco to get her tampons to put in this box. I mean, she was totally prototyping it, getting it out there, testing it to see if people are interested in this idea. She didn't put forward a huge fortune in doing any of this without really testing the market to see if people are interested. And she's kind of embraced collaboration to the fullest capacity. She collaborates with the people that are in her box, but if you look at her viral video, that HelloFlow Camp Gyno one, and again, this is on episode, let me see if I can find it. It wasn't that long ago, so you can see here we've got our episodes up on YouTube. If you go to youtube.com/YF Entrepreneur, you can find out all of our past episodes. Here it is. It's episode what episode is that? 74. So you guys can check it out because it's definitely worth listening to. She does such a great job telling us from the beginning to the end how she did it, but she talks about this viral video and how she collaborated with a number of people on it as far as the music goes. I mean, she talks about how she wanted to do the Snoop Dogg song. I think it was Snoop Dogg at least. And then they ended up switching it out for that I'm a queen bee, go get it, that song. And she was saying that was really important to her as far as copyright goes. And a certain other company didn't do that, and she actually commented on it in, I think it was in Inc. magazine or Fast Company or Mashable, one of those articles. I'll make sure that I link to it. The fact that they used, they were kind of like skirting the edges on copyright infringement. Anyway, I'm going off on a rant. I'm getting off the topic a little bit. But in the viral video, you can see that she collaborated with people that wrote the music, that directed it. She did it at a very low budget. And it was just such a fantastic story. And moral of the story is that I love HelloFlow and the brand. And Dear Kates is awesome. So we're going to talk about that in just a second. Before I go off too much on collaboration, though, thank you to everyone that showed up yesterday for YFE's first Lazy Sunday. It was so much fun. I was really, really nervous in the morning. I thought, this is such an awesome idea. The idea was that we would all start a movie at a certain time and tweet about it, so it's not necessarily blatantly talking about business and networking and that type of a thing, but bringing us together over a common interest other than our businesses. And Love Actually was something that a lot of us have in common. So I thought, okay, this is going to be awesome. We're going to be able to meet each other over this common interest and have fun. And then finally, Sunday morning, I woke up in a panic. I was like, oh my gosh, what if I'm the only one that's watching this movie today? How embarrassing. But people came. So thank you so much for coming. It was so much fun to get to know everyone over a different type of medium. And we're definitely going to do it again in January. It's just a matter of what movie we should watch on a lazy Sunday. So the idea is that you get your work together and you can fold laundry and tweet with each other and watch a fun movie. And somebody suggested Sex and the City, the movie. Then there was like Working Girl and a few other ones. So we'll ask people later on. So getting back into collaboration. So first of all, what is collaboration, and the idea of, why do we collaborate? I feel like most large companies collaborate, and we're kind of at a loss. Like, why don't more small brands collaborate? That's what I've been thinking about lately, because that was one of my marching cries, or in our web hosting company when we were getting it going. We're a small team. We had no marketing budget. How could we collaborate with other brands to grow our name, to share the workload, to create something interesting? And that was always something we were trying to think of. And I know it's something that everyone wants to do. That's the thing. Nancy Colindres, on our YFE Facebook page, we asked, and she said she'd like to start expanding her network with other YFEs. So if you're looking to do the same, let's link up. So I know there's a lot of women that are interested in doing it. We put this call out there on Facebook, and you can see there was a lot of women that responded. So I think one of the issues of why we don't collaborate more is mainly because it's hard. It's hard work, and there's a lot of gray area around it, right? The hard work is that you have to pitch someone and really work towards getting them to actually say okay, right? And then you have to figure out all this, the details, the communication. It's basically creating a new team of people that you have to work with, and you really don't have the groundwork set up. You have to create all of it. It's just creating new habits, which at times is scary. And then there's the legal stuff behind it too, right? So it's the who owns this copyright, who owns this new product that we have out there, how are we financing it, where does the money come in and out, that type of a thing. So there's a lot of gray areas in going into a collaboration, which makes it a little bit more nerve-wracking, right? So let's talk about what types of collaborations are out there then. So so you know, and you guys, I'm sorry for those of you that are on Twitter and watching. I don't have my Twitter set up where I could really look at what you're saying, but definitely keep adding to the conversation. Use the hashtag Jenn Cast, JENNCAST. So there's a couple things. So first of all, you could collaborate in kind of more of the usual ways that we see people collaborating today as young female entrepreneurs. And I don't want to say usual, because I think it's, like I said, it's a lot of hard work. So if you're doing it, it's a remarkable thing and good for you. But a lot of young women collaborate in this way. So Sandy Sadu on Facebook was saying that she's collaborating with Jules Tagger of AMP and Pivot. And so I believe they're doing Thrive Hive Live. I think that's what it's called. And so that's one way where you're using shared talents and resources, right? So you're creating this new product and you're pulling together your different resources, your audience, maybe the hardware that you own, applications that you have licenses to, knowledge that you've obtained, that type of a thing, and you're creating something new. Another way that people have done it is through cross-promotional type of collaboration. Like Corey Freeman, who is our guest on Friday, our guest co-host, she talked about collaborating with Stacey Harris, who's actually our co-host on YFE Chat. They're doing a new happy hour for entrepreneurs that's a hangout. So you can go and you can get entertained by them. And they're bringing their shared resources and doing some cross-promotion there as far as bringing their different audiences in and being able to discover one another. We see that a lot, and it's an awesome way to collaborate out. There's a few other people that are doing that. Nicole from the Wardrobe Code, who was on last Wednesday. So there's a lot of really cool things happening around there. And then finally, Vicky Lashenko, I think is how you pronounce her last name. She was also on there talking about how she collaborated with another young female entrepreneur on creating questions for Gary Vaynerchuk's interview. So they put together their shared resources, they shared the workload, and they also created something of a higher quality because it was two minds working together. So those are some typical ways. But another really cool way to think about collaboration that we often forget is crowdsourcing. And this is something that people in tech do a lot, but there's actually an example. So I interviewed Adam of this Kickstarter campaign. He was behind the whole thing of Project Eternity by Obsidian Entertainment. If you're a gamer, you probably know about Obsidian. But this was a huge Kickstarter. As you can see, they almost reached $4 million after just having a $1 million goal. And basically what he was talking about on this YFE chat, and that was from, I think, about a year ago that he was on there. He was talking about how instead of him, apart from the fact that these people that are going to eventually purchase the game funded it, which is so cool to think of in the first place. But another thing Obsidian did was that they decided to give the people that backed the campaign the ability to build the game with them, to share their ideas, to have some ownership in it. And, someone that's backed a game and then also been able to name a character or say, I think it would be great if I was able to do this, or given you input on some of the illustrations, they're so much more likely to tell their friends about it because they feel ownership over this game, right? And on the top of it, with crowdsourcing, you also just have a lot, you have higher quality of the work produced because you have ideas coming from a lot of angles. And then you have, speed. You're able to put something out there faster. You talk about lean startup. You have this instant, before the game is even out there, you have someone that says this is a good idea or that's a horrible idea type of a thing where you haven't put the money out there yet and you're not able to go back and fix it. So anyway, crowdsourcing, definitely don't forget about that. I think it's an awesome way to collaborate with people, especially your followers. Harvard Business Journal talks about, and I'll include this link, this is from a while ago and it's just a preview, but they talk about the different types of collaboration with crowdsourcing. And that's a great thing to remember, is that crowdsourcing can be done in a number of ways, where it's a closed off community. Maybe you have a mastermind of people that are crowdsourcing an idea, or you have a board of advisors type of an idea, that type of a thing. So a lot of different things to think about there. The one thing Adam did say in our YFE chat was that it was awesome that he could crowdsource this game, but at the same time, it's going to take them a little bit longer to make the game because there's ideas coming from all over the place. You have to really filter things out and try different things. And he said it's like having a lot of bosses tell you what to do. So that's another thing you have to think about with crowdsourcing. Any kind of collaboration, I think there's pros and cons against doing it. Like I said, workload, financial, copyright, and then just, all of the voices coming in at you type of a thing. How are you going to work with this other person? So either way, I think crowdsourcing is an awesome option. I think collaborating, like I said, whenever I see a good collaboration, especially between young female entrepreneurs, I get super excited. So if you have an example, make sure that you comment below. But one of the other things that before we talk about the Hello Flow example, is that I wanted to I guess this is my own little private rant, is before you go into a collaboration, before you email someone, I wrote notes on this because this is what I do, because I'm constantly pitching people for collaboration for YFE, and I had 5 years of experience doing this for Ovaleye, and that's really how we grew our audience, is through collaborating with other designers and creating cool packages, collaborating with people for different marketing campaigns, that type of a thing. So think about why you want to collaborate with someone before you pitch them, or even before you start looking for a collaboration partner. What can you bring to the table? So rather than just coming and saying, knowing that you want to get to that person because they have the right audience for you, what can you bring to that conversation? We talked about that on Friday with Corey too. And then finally, who would best complement your skills and your brand? So don't just go to them because they have the audience there. Really think about, because you're going to have to be working with this person. How would you work together? Again, if they're on the other side of the country in a whole different time zone, what does that relationship look like? And where would your collaboration live in terms of copyright holdings, financing, that type of a thing? So think about all of those things before you actually contact someone. Because I get a lot of pitches in my email inbox, and I'm so grateful for every email, but at the same time, you're adding time onto the person that you're pitching's plate. And a collaboration might not happen because you haven't been specific about what it is that you want to do. I have people email me all the time setting it up as if they want to be featured, and at the very end say something like, how can we collaborate? Well, I don't know, because I don't know that much about you, but you've done research about me, so what are your ideas? So, just setting that up ahead of time, I think really encourages someone to reply back and be like, that's a great idea. It gets them thinking because they haven't necessarily thought about the collaboration before you reached out. So with that in mind, someone that did do a collaboration that's incredibly successful, like I mentioned, is Hello Flow. Nama Bloom, fantastic. And the reason why I found out about it, first of all, I follow Hello Flow on Twitter. All of you should, because it's a fantastic resource just for young female entrepreneurs or young women in general. I love all the content that she puts out. But I saw this on a tweet, Santa for your vagina, and that's a line from the Hello Flow viral campaign, Camp Gyno. And I love that she turned this into this whole campaign. First of all, that's the domain, santaforyourvagina.com. Go to it, which is brilliant. And then the title for this package that you can get is Santa for your vagina. Yes, really. It's just awesome. So it includes the Hello Flow fabric basket that you see in there, 100% organic cotton tampons, which, thanks to Hello Flow, I had no idea about, but that's not regulated. Tampons are not regulated. So there's all sorts of crazy chemicals and ones that are not organic. Scary, right? So I like that they have the option for organic cotton. Then a pair of Dear Kate revolutionary underwear. Something called SW Basics Lip Balm, Mighty Leaf Tea, Sweet Riot, Quinoa, Crunch Chocolate, and Funky Chunky Gourmet Popcorn. So the idea there is that you get to sample all of these awesome products that were meant for, it's the right demographic. They're women that have cravings or want that type of sweet or salty type crunch type stuff. And then also Dear Kate's, the cool thing about Dear Kate's is that, first of all, I love the way she markets this because it's an interesting thing. The whole idea was that, it prevents leakage in your underwear. So it's an interesting topic. I mean, it's not one that you're going to go and tell your girlfriends about. But I love how she markets it because it's all about the glamour, the fun, the just the certain lifestyle that someone wears. You wear a Dear Kate. And I love that it's also kind of like a noun. You say, oh, I have my Dear Kates on, or what Dear Kate do you wear? I just like the way that she's positioned it too. So anyway, I asked Julie, let me see if I can bring this up in an email. I'll include this too in long form. But I asked Julie how all of this came about because I found it, like I was beginning to say, I found out that they were collaborating on this package because Julie or someone, I don't know if it was Hello Flow or Dear Kate's, initiated this, but they were using Facebook ads. And I don't usually notice the Facebook ads, to be totally honest, unless it's been something, a brand that I recognize, which is a good tip too for using what's that called? We just talked about this, retargeting. For people that already recognize your brand. So Julie said basically that Nama Bloom actually came after them, or she approached them. So she says she fell in love with Hello Flow's Camp Gyno video this summer and became friends with their founder, Nama. So they already had that relationship before they did the collaboration. And the collaboration actually came together very quickly. She sent her an email a few weeks ago about their plans to create a gift package called Santa for Your Vagina. And she immediately agreed that Dear Kate's would be a perfect fit and met the next day to discuss details. Their goal was to create a gift set that celebrates being female and gives the recipient something to look forward to the next time she gets a visit from Aunt Flo. So I love that idea. I love that it came together quickly. I love that they had a relationship prior to this. They're serving very similar demographics. And the whole thing about the collaboration, I just love. I love both of the brands. I love Dear Kate. I love Hello Flow. And hopefully all of you will check it out. Again, just for fun, go to santaforyourvagina.com. Hilarious. So everyone, we've been talking about collaboration. I apologize that the chat was down for everyone. But definitely, if you're watching this later, comment with your thoughts on collaboration, because like I said, I bet all of you have similar sentiment. When I see a good collaboration, I get really excited and think, how could I collaborate with someone? So you've been watching the daily live webcast, Jenn Cast, that happens Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern here on yfelive.com. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Make sure that you tell your friends, subscribe, like, comment, all of that fun stuff so we can grow and reach additional young female entrepreneurs. Make sure that you come back here this week. I've got some really fun guest co-hosts. And again, thank you so much for showing up live.